All right, let's jump right into this explainer and unpack the sheer immense scale of the 2026 wildfire crisis that's raging across the United States right now. We are looking at a national environmental emergency of just staggering proportions. I really want to guide you through exactly what's happening on the ground, up in the air, and across the map, because honestly, the scope of this is something you have to fully grasp to believe. 7,270,038. That is the number of acres that have burned so far this year alone. To put that massive figure into perspective, firefighters have already responded to nearly 49,000 separate wildfires just to reach that total. It's an almost incomprehensible footprint of fire. So, seeing a number like that immediately begs the question, how exactly do we coordinate a response to an environmental event of this magnitude? When you have over 7 million acres burning, local fire departments simply aren't enough. We have to zoom out and look at the macro-level logistics to really understand how a nation fights back. To figure that out, we first have to look at the national operational status. Section 1. A nation at level 5. Now, being at preparedness level 5 isn't just some bureaucratic label. It is literally the absolute highest level of wildland fire activity we can declare. It means several geographic areas are experiencing major incidents all at once, totally exhausting our shared national resources. Right now, there are exactly 28,710 personnel assigned to incidents nationwide. Our resources are stretched absolutely to their limits. And you really see the relentless nature of the season when you look at just a single day. Yesterday alone, 92 new fires were reported. 4 of those exploded into new large fires, adding to a backlog of 80 uncontained large fires that are already burning. It's like a never-ending game of whack-a-mole. Firefighters are chasing new ignitions while desperately trying to hold the line on massive, established blazes. Containing all of this requires a mind-blowing logistical network. Section 2. Mobilizing massive resources. The sheer scale here demands unprecedented reinforcements. Basically, the crisis is so severe that we're now relying on a globally interconnected defense grid. We're talking about a massive, coordinated combination of United States military personnel and specialized international firefighting teams. When domestic civilian resources tap out at level 5, this is the dual-pillar support system that steps in to save the day. Looking globally, it's actually pretty amazing. We have a vital contingent of 196 personnel and 3 incident management teams who flew all the way from Australia and New Zealand. They're on the ground right now managing large fires. Meanwhile, our neighbors in Canada have totally stepped up. Manitoba has deployed a large air tanker and a Bird Dog aircraft straight into Idaho to provide absolutely critical aerial support. Then, looking domestically, the heavy military hardware has officially arrived. We've got 240 soldiers from Joint Base Lewis McChord actively deployed to fight the Modrite fire in Washington. Up in the air, 2 C-130 air tankers from the Air Force Reserve in Colorado are flying missions over Oregon, and another 2 from the California Air National Guard are stationed in Redding. I mean, this is a full-scale military mobilization.
But here's the kicker. All these mobilized resources are fighting a serious uphill battle against Mother Nature. Section 3. The weather factor.
It starts with a subtle warming building across the Pacific Northwest. Next, a weak upper-level disturbance tracks right through Northern California. And this acts as a dangerous catalyst, pushing dry, gusty winds and low humidity straight into California, Nevada, Oregon, and Idaho. You know, it's literally the exact recipe you don't want. Explosive fire growth in highly vulnerable areas. Furthermore, this exact same weather system brings an incredibly unpredictable threat to the table: dry lightning. This disturbance could trigger thunderstorms stretching all the way from eastern Idaho into western Montana. When you combine parched terrain with gusty winds and lightning strikes, you risk sparking entirely new fires miles behind the lines our folks are already struggling to hold. So, taking all of this logistical and weather data into account, where is all this colliding the hardest? Section 4. Western State Hotspots. If we zero in on the epicenter, Washington and Oregon are carrying the vast majority of the burden here. Washington is dealing with an unbelievable 37 large, uncontained fires. Oregon has 21. Then we see a steep drop-off, with Montana at 8, and Colorado and Idaho both managing 5. Without a doubt, the Pacific Northwest is the nation's undisputed flashpoint right now.
Drilling down into Washington, things are incredibly volatile. The Little Giant fire is aggressively exhibiting flanking, backing, and droop torching, putting numerous structures and critical infrastructure at immediate risk. Meanwhile, the Modrite fire is so intense that it requires sustained support from those 240 soldiers we mentioned earlier just to maintain standard wildland fire operations.
And moving just south into Oregon, it's the same terrifying story. The Grasshopper Fire is showing active running, flanking, and really dangerous wind-driven runs. Even more alarming is the Picture Rock Fire, which is displaying extreme behavior like torching and spotting. The threat level has escalated so fast that vital energy infrastructure is now directly in the path of the flames.
We are witnessing an event of truly historic scale. Over 7 million acres burned, global strike teams crossing the planet to help, and the U.S. military heavily engaged in our own forests. With our national resources stretched to their absolute breaking point at level 5, it really leaves us with one critical question. As extreme weather becomes our new baseline, will our global safety nets hold, or are we simply looking at the new, unsustainable normal for the American West?